Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of your channel Effortless Chess, where I try to make chess an easy game, effortless game and fun game. Today we are going to talk about the end game, which is the final stage of the game. A lot of people find the end game as mysterious. They don't know what to do in the end game. And this is completely understandable in view of that all of us start learning the game in the opening, and all beginners finish the game early, like maybe some games last couple of moves. Usually when you become good enough you can reach the middle game. In the middle game usually the game will finish in a checkmate or in a heavy loss and sometimes resigning. Only medium to intermediate to good players will reach the end game. And that's why the less experience we have is in the end game. We all know the openings, we all know some rules in the middle game. We have just in this channel talked about the opening rules and the middle game rules. Let's talk a little bit about them very fast. In the opening we have three golden rules: pawn in the center, castle your king, develop your pieces. In the middle game we have two rules: Adam rule. After each move your opponent plays, always make sure and ask yourself, what is he attacking, what is he defending, and what is he missing. Also in the middle game we have the other rule, which is the sack rule. Before you start sacrificing and launching your attack, you need to ask yourself or make sure that all your pieces are safe, active and connected. So these only the two rules in the middle game and three rules in the opening, and that's it. In the end game, on the other hand, what makes it a little bit difficult and mysterious, that some rules of these rules are reversed in the end game. For instance, we all take care, the first golden rule is put pawn in the center. In the end game, maybe the edge pawn will be more important than the central pawn. So this is, nobody knows about this. Also, castle your king. In the end game, no need to castle. If you castle your king will be far away from the center, where maybe the actual battle is taking place. So in the end game, there are some rules, I will tell you about them, which you need to take care of them. Once you enter the end game, you need to change your point of view. We'll talk about the rules about the end game immediately. Stay tuned. In this position, black has just followed the rules and castled his king. Is it a good move? Now white's turn. He can castle also, but we need to notice that now we are in the end game, and the actual battle will be on the queen side, because white has two pawns against one. These two pawns are pawn majority in the queen side. So now if I want to start improving my position and developing my advantage, I need to push these pawns until I have a passed pawn, and maybe in the future I will get a passed pawn. So the best move now here, it's not castle, it's king d2 and later king maybe c3. I need to be close to my advantage. Here is my advantage. I have majority in the queen side, so it's not good to just follow the rules and castle without thinking. So this is why the end game is not easy. You need to, first of all, you should know that you are in the end game. Then you should not follow the rules without thinking. In the end game, here is the first rule in the end game: the king is a fighting piece. use it. So here the best move is to move the king to the place where it will be useful. In the end game, this is the difference between the end game and the opening. The opening and the middle game, you take care of your king. You want your king to be super safe. That's why we need to castle as fast as possible. While in the end game, it's the opposite. You have to use your king. Why? Because you have only, in this position for instance, you have only a rook and 3 pawns on the king side, 2 pawns on the queen side. So total you have a rook and 5 pawns. So how can you win if you ignore your king? If you add your king to the army, now you have a king and 5 pawns and a rook. If black keeps his king in the king side here or here, doesn't participate in the actual battle in the queen side, then you will have extra piece plus this extra pawn, and then you can do something. You can win the game. So this is the first rule in the end game. The king is a fighting piece. Use it. The second important rule in the end game is about advantage. If you have advantage, you need to know your advantage so you can see where you should concentrate. So in this position, for instance, white has extra 2 bishops. The other pieces are all the same. 2 rooks for 2 rooks and a knight for a knight. So white has extra 2 bishops. So if you have material advantage, you need to exchange pieces as much as you can. If you can exchange everything, it would be even better. Just keep the pawns. So in the future, in the end game, in the final stage, you will have extra piece or 2 and some pawns, so you can promote your pawns and win the game. So in this case, white has extra 2 bishops, black has nothing in return, only he has this open file. He's controlling this file. So my move as white, immediately I will go here with my bishop to finish my development and activate my pieces and connect my rooks and pinning his knight. So next move, whatever he plays, I will take his knight and then immediately I will challenge him. Let's say he played this. Let's say he played this pawn here. Then I will take his knight. He will take back and I will activate my final rook to the open file. And now I exchange a pair of pieces, a bishop for a knight, and I want to exchange a pair of rooks, and I'm controlling or sharing control on this open file. So know your advantage. If you have material advantage, you have to exchange as many pieces as you can. If you have a passed pawn, try to push it. We'll talk about the passed pawn in the next step. So in this step now, know your advantage. First rule was the king is a fighting piece, use it. The second rule is know your advantage. The third rule in the end game is all about the rook. The rooks are the main fighting pieces in the end game, and this is not for nothing. There is a reason, because in the opening and in the middle game, the rooks usually are in the corners and they take long time to be activated. Unlike the knight, for instance, the knight can be activated from the first move. So because the rooks enter the game lately in the final stages, so their chance of being exchanged is very little. So usually in the end game you will find a rook with you, or maybe 2 rooks like in this example. So you need to master the rook's end game, and it's way big difference between an active rook in the end game and a passive one. In the middle game and in the opening, it's not a big deal because we have queens, we have bishops, we have knights, and it's easy to activate these pieces. But the rook, usually it doesn't become active until the end game. So in the end game, you have to take care of your rook and activate it to the maximum. It's a huge difference between active rook and passive one. For instance, here the rooks are doubled up on the 7th rank, which is the most important rank for the rooks. If you control the 7th rank, now all the pawns don't feel safe. You can take all of them. While black rooks are defensive. This one is defending this pawn, this one is defending this pawn. So there is no chance for black to activate his rooks, and he will stay defensive for the rest of the game. And maybe this advantage alone is enough to win the game. So activate your rooks and master the rooks endgame. This is the third rule in the endgame. The rook. The secret is the rook. The fourth and fortunately the final rule in the endgame is about the pawn. The pawn has the potential to become a queen, and promotion is only for pawns. So usually in the middle game and in the opening we don't care about pawns. I remember when I was a kid I was thinking, why there are a lot of pawns? I want to attack with all my pieces, but always I find my pawns in my way. So I was wishing to get rid of all my pawns, and then I have all the lines open for my rooks to attack, and my queen, my bishops, all my pieces. So I used to hate pawns, and I suppose it's not only me, because there are a lot of openings which we call gambits, where the player sacrifices a pawn or maybe two or three just to open lines. So in the opening we hate pawns, but in the end game, if you have an extra pawn or maybe a passed pawn, you can just keep pushing and you have a new queen. Suddenly you are winning out of nowhere. So the pawn is the secret of the end game. If you take care of your pawns, that means you have a good chance to win the game. For instance, in this example, white has a pawn and black has a pawn. This pawn is central pawn, but this one is rook's pawn, edge. The pawn on the edge. Usually it's considered, from my point of view, I used to call it half a pawn, because this is the only pawn which controls only one square, while all other pawns control two squares at the same time. So we all used to prefer the central pawns over the edge pawns. But in this case, because it's passed pawn, and when I say passed, it means there are no pawns in front of it, enemy pawns. So in this case, our pawn is not passed anymore, and even on the next file, because when you push it, it will be taken. But if there is no pawn here in front of my pawn, this means this pawn is passed pawn. So if I push it, let's say I push it here, black cannot do the same, because if he pushes his pawn, because it's central pawn, you see now again the reversed rule, because my pawn is a rook pawn, it's very far from the center, and because the black king is on the queen side and my passed pawn is on the king side, there is no chance for the black king to catch it, while his central pawn is close to my king. So I can move my king simply, and he cannot go anywhere with his pawn. I will reach it. While if he tries to do the same, my pawn is so far that he cannot catch my pawn. So the pawn is very important weapon in the end game. If you keep pushing it, you can promote the pawn to a queen, and then you can win easily. So the fourth rule in the end game: take care of your pawns, especially if they are passed, or you can make them passed pawns. So the one who knows how to deal with the pawns, how to push them, how to know when to push them, he has better chance to win the end game. So now we have only 4 rules for the end game. The first one is the king. The king is a fighting piece. The second one is know your advantage. The third one is the rook. The rook is the secret. And the last one is the pawn. There is a famous saying by a world champion. He says, pawns are the soul of chess. So when you know how to deal with these pawns, you control the end game, especially the end game. Usually you have to learn how to move the pawns starting from move 1, but in the end game especially, pawns become more important because the potential of getting a queen. You have some passed pawns in the end game, but in the opening it's impossible to have a passed pawn unless you exchange some pawns and do a lot of exchanges, which means you are coming close to the end game. So when you are in the end game, take care of your pawns. So now you know all the rules you need in the end game. I make this simple word to remember: carp. So use your king, know your advantage, and use your rook and learn how to master the rook end games. And the last one is every pawn is a potential queen. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you later in a new video. Of course, we will talk about the end game in more details, and we still have some tactics for the middle game. So stay tuned. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you will get notifications when a new video is ready in the channel. See you. Bye bye.